Today, we are going to take an in-depth look at rhinoceros.
Hello everybody, welcome to Lion Country Safari, our virtual field trip. Today we're going to be featuring rhinoceros. Now, we're also going to be featuring one rhinoceros in particular as well. His name is Buck, and that's where we get the title from. My name is Brian Dowling. I'm the general curator here at Lion Country Safari, and we're going to have some very special guests today. Today you're going to get to meet Terry Wolf, our wildlife director. He's got lots of wonderful things to tell you about Buck the rhinoceros. He's been working with them for a very long time. Also, you're going to get to meet Dr. Elizabeth Hammond, our veterinarian, and Kimberly Wunstall, who is our trainer. Let's see here. If you have any questions while you're watching our videos, you have your teacher post them, and we'll be able to we'll try to get to as many. Some of them we might just respond back on the computer. Now, if you have any technical issues viewing the video, we are putting the video up on our website. Go to lioncountrysafari.com, and you'll be able to for our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to view that video. If you want to view it again at a later time, you certainly can do so. Also, we're doing an art contest with this. So all of you children that have participated in this virtual field trip, we are doing art contest. You must make an original artwork of Buck the rhinoceros. The winners from each grade level, from K through 5, we'll pick one winner. You'll get a family 4-pack of tickets so that your drawing publicly displayed here at the zoo. So we are going to hang those up here at the zoo so everybody can see them. Now, your artwork must be on an 8.5 by 11-inch sheet of unlined paper. You have to draw, color, or paint that picture. Make sure you put your first name, your last name, grade level, school name, and your teacher's name on the back. We need to know who's going to be our winner. Now, you have to have these drawings in by March 13th. That's the deadline to have it in. The winner will be picked on March 25th. We will notify your school and teacher of the winners. Now remember, this is K through 5 can participate in the drawing, and those of you that participated in the virtual field trip. Now, when you do that, you can at Lion Country Safari, 2003 Lion Country Safari Road, Loxahatchee, Florida 334. Okay, now I think also I wanted to give a little shout out to Principal Bremacamp at Cypress Trails Elementary. We went out there today and got to see some of the STEM programming that we've been helping work with her. Absolutely amazing work what she has done and the rest of her team. I was very blown away by what we got to see this morning. Okay, so let's start the video.
Hi, my name is Terry Wolf. I'm the wildlife director here at Lion Country Safari, and this is Buck, southern white rhinoceros. Buck is a male, and he's been with us since 1972 when he came here as an orphan, and Lion Country gave him a place to live out the rest of his life. So Buck and I go way back. The white rhino is different than the other 4 species of rhino in that it's a grass eater. You see Buck now, he's actually got this big wide mouth down on the ground. And the other name for the white rhino, and the real name, is the wide-mouthed rhino. In Afrikaans, wide mouth is white moond. And the English-speaking people have picked it up as the color white. But you can see Buck's not white. And the other species of rhino in Africa is known as the black. They're not black. They live in an area where the mud is very black, so when they roll in the mud, they get black. But when it rains, rhinos are pretty much all the same color. Because of their grass-eating habits, they have this huge head and these big teeth for grinding up the grass. It's what they do. They eat grass. All the other rhinos are browsers. They have to be able to reach up into the trees and get the leaves and things like that. So because of this large head, they have this huge tendon that holds that head up. You can see it's just a massive hump on his back. That's the tendon and the muscles needed to pick that head up. But one of the problems that they have is that they cannot lift their head higher than their shoulder. And why is that a problem? Well, if you can't pick your nose up higher than your shoulders, it's going to be real difficult to swim and navigate water. So this is the only species of rhino that really doesn't swim. They live in the plains of Africa where that's not that important. They can graze on all the grass they want. They are, as you can see, a pretty docile, easygoing animal. They haven't been known to be aggressive, but only to protect their young and their territory. Because Buck and I have a long relationship, I know how he feels today. We can stand here, and we have the protection if we want to get behind the rails. The rhino is in the same basic family as the horse. They have one stomach, and they live on grass. They don't chew their cud, but they do walk like a horse too. They have special hearing. He can hear everything I say, whether I'm in front of him or behind him. And they also have a very acute sense of smell. But they don't see very well. Their eyes are very tiny. And where they live in an area with these acacia trees that have thorns that are almost 6 inches long. And because of that, they kind of put their head down and they can plow right through this thorny brush with that plate of armor that they have called their skin. It's over 3 inches thick on the back. Big horn that helps them bust through the trunks of these trees. The cows can create a den inside these heavily brushed areas so that they can have their babies that will be safe from lions. Obviously, they're big animals. We talk about their skin. 20% of their body weight is skin. If he's about 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, that's almost 1,000 pounds of skin. Very protective though, very heavy duty. But they're still susceptible to things like sunburn and insect bites. That's why they roll in the mud. They love to roll in the mud. They love to rub on things. Everything is a scratching post. Everyone, my name is Terry Wolf. I'm the wildlife director here at Lion Country Safari and a personal friend of Buck the Rhino for over 30 years. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them in and we'll see what we can do. Questions?
Terry, we had a question this morning from Cypress Trails Elementary School Kindergarten asking, how long is the longest rhino horn on record?
That's a great question. Every rhino has a different length of horn because it's kind of like a fingernail. And the more they rub it, the shorter it'll be. If they have hard stuff to rub on, like here at Lion Country, they have steel and very hard posts to rub on, their horns are going to be shorter. But in Africa, some of the big rhinos have had horns that are over 4 feet long. And here again, it's made up of the same. So if you cut it, it doesn't bleed. And they keep it sharp by rubbing on everything. They love to rub on things.
We have a question from Sunrise Park. They'd like to know, how old is the baby now?
The baby Anna will be, I believe, 3 Already? 2, yeah, it's 2 in April. She's growing pretty fast. She's probably close to almost 1,700 pounds by now.
We have a question from Choli. They would like to know, how old is Buck?
Well, we're here again, we're kind of guessing because Buck came to us from Africa as a rescued animal. His mother had been poached, and he was saved by a very good group of people in Africa and rescued and then brought to Lion Country. And we believe in 1972 he came here, and we thought he was about 2 years old. So going by that, he's close to 45 years old.
Mrs. Dowling's class would like to know approximately how many white rhinos are left in the wild.
Wow, another great question. The southern white rhino is now about 20,000 rhinos in the world. Over 1,000 were shot last year by poachers. You can see that that's pretty critical. If that were to continue to happen, these animals are not going to last. And this was a species that we really were hopeful was going to make it over the hump. But recent increases in the amount of poaching that's going on with rhinos is really, really depressing.
Mrs. Leonardo's class would like to know, do all rhinos have the same amount of horns?
No, there's 5 different species of rhino in the world. 2 in Africa, the black rhino and the white rhino. But of all the rhinos, the white rhino has the largest horn. There's a greater one-horned rhino that lives in India. It's about medium size, a little bit smaller than the black rhinos. And the Sumatran has a little tiny button of a horn.
We have a question here from, let's see, from Binks Forest. How much do their horns weigh, Terry?
Well, that's a good question too. Depending on the length of the horn, if the horn is about 24 inches long, it can weigh about 15 pounds.
And I think we have time just for one more question, and that is, let's pick a good one here. How long do they carry their babies for? That's from Cross Point.
As large mammals, they can hold on to their gestation period for their babies is anywhere between 15 and 17 months. You know, it sounds like a big gap in the middle there, but when you have that long a gestation period, one way or the other, a month or 2, is not that big a deal. Calves are born, they're kind of really dependent upon their mothers, and they can weigh anywhere from 50 pounds to over 100 pounds. The babies nurse off their mother for a better part of 2 years, and they grow very rapidly, putting on about 3 to 4 pounds every day. So in the first year of their life, they go from 100 pounds to 1,000 pounds. And that continues to grow until they're full grown. The bulls get to be about 5,000 pounds. The cows, a lot lighter at 3,500.
Are you ready for the video?
Do what?
Now we're starting the video, Terry.
Oh, now we're going to watch a video.
Okay, so we're here at a facility where we keep our rhinos. The rhinos stay here overnight, and before they come out into the preserve, they come through this chute, and keepers give medicine or training to the rhinos before they come out. And that is about to take place now. What is that we're going to see here, Kim?
So we're going to do some work with a couple of our rhinos. Every year our rhinos go and they get physicals done, so they need either blood to be taken or they're going to need to receive their vaccinations. So we like to train the animals before we do it so that they're all nice and calm and comfortable when we actually do it. And we have a couple different tools that we'll use that you're going to see me using. When we take blood, we use something that looks like this. And when it's the actual day of the blood draw, instead of having a paper clip, which is what I use for training, it's going to be actually a needle. And the same thing, when we give vaccinations, we use a syringe and it'll have a needle in it, but today we use the paper clip as well. And the paper clip just kind of stimulates the training so they get used to feeling the poke. So these are two of the tools we're going to be using today. So we're just going to work with them on desensitizing them or getting them used to the different sensations or feelings they're going to feel during the actual procedure.
Dr. Elizabeth Hammond, who's the senior veterinarian here at Lion Country Safari. And I'd like to ask Dr. Hammond some of the things that she and the other vets do here at Lion Country to keep our animals on good health and display. Dr. Hammond?
Hi. So basically, we do a lot of preventative medicine with our animals. For instance, with the rhinos, we routinely check for parasites, and we'll treat them if necessary. And we also do vaccinations, just like you give shots to your dog or cat at home. And we also actually have all of our rhinos trained for blood draws so that we can do annual health checks on them, and we can do it without anesthesia. Because as you can imagine, it can be kind of scary to anesthetize a 5,000-pound animal. We can anesthetize them if we need to, but we try to limit that if we can.
So you may notice that Lissa is missing a horn, and Dr. Beth is here to explain why that is. Dr. Beth?
All right, so Lissa's a 33-year-old female white rhino, and about a year and a half ago we discovered that she had cancer in her horn. And so after 7 surgical procedures, we've removed most of her horn. And now the biggest thing is we feel like we've gotten the cancer under control, but now we need to she's got an infection, and so we're treating her with antibiotics, and we're training her now so we can take x-rays and make sure that she doesn't have an infection in the underlying bone. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be practicing and training her so that we can take x-rays without anesthesia, so it's safer for her.
Hi, I'm glad you guys could make it today. My name is Dr. Beth Hammond. I'm the senior veterinarian here at Lion Country Safari.
I'm Kimberly Winstall. I'm one of the trainers. I work with the rhinos.
And we're ready today to answer some of your questions.
Okay, you want to
Yeah, Dr. Beth, Mrs. Silver's class from Sunrise Park Elementary asked, what symptoms do
That's a great question. And you know, sometimes it can be very hard to tell when they're not feeling well. But often they'll stop eating. If they have a hurt foot, they might start limping. And so those are kind of the main things that we look out for. But we also do routine blood work on our rhinos so that we can check their health status and hopefully catch things before they start showing signs of illness.
I've got a good question here from Adrian Dowling's class, Binks Forest Elementary. What was that blue plastic thing you were wearing over your face?
So in the video, that was one time when we were anesthetizing our rhino, Lissa. She's one that has cancer in her horn. And so the drugs that I use for Lissa and for most of the rhinos, they're very potent and they're very dangerous to me. So I need to be very careful. And so I was wearing the mask to protect my eyes and face in case any of the drug sprayed back into my face.
The next question is, how do you train a rhinoceros?
We train them using several things. They're nice and calm, and we just go at their speed. We introduce them to things that they would have to get used to, and just kind of introduce them to everything.
What do you use for positive reinforcement when training the rhinos?
For them, it's called sweet feed, which is just a grain that is coated in molasses, and it's something that they really do enjoy, and they usually only get it for special occasions or if we're training.
Chelsea, do you want to ask a question about the cancer?
Someone out?
Dr. Beth, do you treat cancer the same way in rhinos as you do for humans?
That's a great question. And basically, sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. It depends upon the type of cancer. It depends upon the type of animal. Because what might be safe in a human might make a rhino really sick. So, and we do a lot of different things. Sometimes we'll try new things. Sometimes we don't know if they're going to work or not. And then, of course, most of the time the animal has to be under anesthesia when we actually treat them for the a little more challenging as well. And so we're able to really help these rhinos.
Here was a good question from Miss Soto's 4th grade class. Are there any pregnant rhinos at Lion Country Safari?
Yes, we do have one pregnant rhino, Bloom, and she's the mother of Anna, who was born a couple of years ago, and we're hoping she's going to give birth in the next month.
Loxahatchee Groves would like to know, how do rhinos communicate?
Well, that's a good question. Rhinos probably communicate in ways that we can't even tell, but certainly eye contact, their body position, they do make noises, they can make grunting noises and that kind of thing.
Acreage Pines Elementary wants to know, do rhinos get mad?
Yes, rhinos do get mad, and they will let us know when they're not happy with training or a medical procedure, and they also get mad at each other. Horns to kind of poke other rhinos to say, get out of here.
Okay.
And now we're ready for the video.
Hello, my name is David Backus, and I'm one of the keepers here at Lion Country Safari. I'd like to talk to you guys about our Bowling for Rhino program. It's part of the American Association of Zookeepers. It's an international or a national organization that are made up of zookeepers from across the country. And Bowling for Rhinos is one of our largest fundraisers. Bowling for Rhinos raises money for rhinos in the wild, conserve the rhinos. It's 5 species of rhino. All 5 are endangered. Some of them are critically endangered, with fewer than 30 left in the world. So Bowling for Rhinos is an event that is done nationally, actually, by several different American Association of Zookeepers organizations that are throughout the United States that will put on a Bowling for Rhino fundraiser. Our Bowling for Rhinos event this year is going to be on May 22nd. It's going to be at the Palm Beach Strike Zone right off of Military, and it's going to run from 7 to 9. The cost of admission is going to be $25. That involves bowling, your shoes, and some food and soda as well. So we invite you guys to come out, and donations are always welcome as well. For more information on our Bowling for Rhinos event, please visit our website, www.lioncountrysafari.com.
Okay, I'm going to recap a little bit about our art contest. Now, all of you students that participated in this virtual field trip, okay, we'd like you to do your own original artwork, and you can, and the winners from each grade level will win a family 4-pack of tickets to the zoo, where you can come in and actually see your drawing, painting, or sketch that you've done of the rhinos displayed publicly here at the zoo. So now, on the back of that, make sure you put your first name, your last name, your grade level, your school name, and your teacher's name, so that if you are a winner, we want to be able to make sure we get that information to you and let you know. Now, the deadline is March 13th, 2015, and the winners will be picked on March 25th. And we'll notify your school and teacher if you've won. Now remember, those are grades K through 5, and those of you that participated in the field trip. And to send them in, just have your teacher or your school mail them to us. Attention Marketing Department, Lion Country Safari, 2003 Lion Country Safari Road, Loxahatchee, Florida 33470. I also believe there is a PDF file attached to this so that you can download that with all the information on for the art contest. Now, if any of you had any difficulties viewing the virtual field trip today, we do have it posted on our YouTube channel. So you can go to our website, lioncountrysafari.com, and there's a link on there for our YouTube channel, and it should be the first video that pops up, and you'll be able to see the virtual field trip that way, if there were any issues that you had, technical issues, streaming it into your classroom. Okay. If somebody has any more questions coming in, feel free to throw them in here. We got probably just another minute or two. Any other questions for me?
Brian, we do have a question. We have a question from Adrian Dowling. Do you want to explain how rhinos are brought to zoos, since we no longer wild capture them?
Okay, good question from Mrs. Dowling's class. I think I know her. How do we get rhinos into zoos? Well, we do breed them in captivity. But part of making sure that we have a good, sustainable population of these animals, we do have to move them around. You just can't reproducing the same ones with the same ones generation after generation. So we do work with other zoos. It's a coordinated effort. All the zoos, we all get together and we sit down and we have meetings and we figure out which rhino should go which location and what's best for that species. We make those decisions that are best for the genetics and best for the rhinos in general. Okay.
Brian, Roosevelt Elementary's first grade class from Mrs. Bergman wants to know, how do we stop the poachers from killing the rhinos?
Okay, Miss Bergman's class, Roosevelt Elementary, right? Okay, how do we stop poachers? This is a, I think this question might actually be above me. I know that you have to, I believe you have to eliminate the market. We have to educate people that this is a species that is worth conserving, and what they think the horn does, the mystical powers that it may have, it really is not true. And so I think probably the key is going to be education. I think that's what we're doing here. And I think that's one of the reasons why we do it. We want to educate people about these animals. I think the more we know about them, the more likely we are to want to conserve them. Okay. Any others? Throw one out.
What is a rhino's predator?
Rhinos. And what are the predators for rhinos? Well, when they're babies, I think they're probably at a much greater risk than an adult rhino. Lions potentially could eat very young rhinos, but really it's man. Man is the biggest problem, the biggest threat to those rhinos. It's us.
Green Acres Elementary 3rd grade class wants to know, what do rhinos do for fun?
What do rhinos do for fun? Well, they love to rub on trees. We use big plastic boomer balls we put out there in the exhibit with them, and they do like to play with those. Trees and logs and stumps, those are things they like to. We have like these big scratching posts, and we use the brush that comes on street sweepers, and we mount it out there so that the rhinos can brush on it, brush up against it and scratch themselves, and they enjoy that pretty much quite a bit as well. Okay. Is that any more? Do we want to take any more?
Can we tell them they can email questions?
Oh, okay. If you didn't get your question answered, we had lots and lots of questions coming in. If you didn't get it answered, you can email us those questions at education@lioncountrysafari.com, and we'll try to get a response to you as quickly as we can. There were lots of questions, so if we didn't get to your questions, we apologize. We were trying to get through as many as we possibly could. Okay.
There's a link to a field trip discount on here. Field trip discount.
Oh, there's also a link on there, I'm told, for a discount to do field trips out here. Come out and see Buck. Buck's getting to be an old man, so he's up there in age, so the sooner the better.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.